Hoskins entered the drink shop that overlooked Shatin's Xingmen River and surveyed the footbridge. It was just far enough away, he decided, so that he would not be hurt by the blast. Or he would feel the shock of the explosion all right, and there might be some debris. But by and large, he would be quite safe. Safe to sit here and watch the damn thing go up. He had been planning this only a few short days, ever since they told him that they were not going to renew his contract. Localization, they said. All the major companies were doing it, and the government was even promoting it. But he had given up everything to come out to Hong Kong, and Parcel International Construction had reneged on one part of the deal after another. They had hinted at the possibility of a partnership when they interviewed him in London, and his head had swum with thoughts of lavish apartments, fast cars, and most of all, wealth. But after the project had finished, they told him it had not been as profitable as they had first thought, and even trying to blame him for the penalties they had been forced to pay because of the delays. And then came the final blow. They were not going to renew his contract. It was the final straw, and Hoskins would not even consider the possibility that they might have a valid case against him. Instead, he had thought of a way in which to get back at them. It had been easy stealing the Semtex from the company explosive depot in the New Territories quarry. Earlier that morning he had flashed his company ID at the guard, who'd let him in without a word. "Spot check," he had told the man, and asked him to wait outside, while he had quickly secreted 1 pound of the high explosive about his person. No wonder, he thought to himself, that Semtex was the first choice of terrorists the world over. Odorless, safe, moldable, and very, very powerful. The single pound that he had stolen would be more than enough to put a sizable hole in their precious bridge. The timer had been a simple matter of a quartz alarm clock, some batteries, and a few bits of wire. Hoskins had chosen a weekday in which to carry out his plan, as he didn't particularly want to kill anyone, and there was less chance of there being a lot of sightseers out during the week. He looked at his watch. It was 11:30, and they would have discovered the theft by now and traced it to him. He smiled to himself at the thought of what they might be doing at this moment. They would be in a real panic, he decided. Would they call the police and risk destroying the reputation? After today, they would be known as the only construction company in the Far East, and the world for that matter, who built footbridges and then blew them up. They had finished his career. In the next half hour, he would finish theirs. He decided that the drink shop would do very nicely as a vantage point, and walked down onto the promenade that led to the ornate footbridge his company had just finished building. He was soon on the bridge itself. He would place the bag right in the middle of the bridge where it would do the most damage, push the timer, and then saunter back to the drink shop. If anyone saw him, they would think that he was just another tourist taking a look around. He arrived at the middle and placed the bag on the pavement against the railing. Stooping down, he opened the zip just enough to be able to reach his hand in. He was just about to do so when he heard a commotion behind him. He turned and saw a troop of Cub Scouts approaching from the other end of the bridge. What the hell were they doing here, he thought furiously. He would have to wait. He wanted to blow the damn thing up, but he didn't want to kill 30-odd children at the same time. He waited until they had marched past him, and then stooped down again. Slipping his hand into the bag, he depressed the knob on the clock. He had exactly 10 minutes to get back to his vantage point and buy himself a beer. Straightening up, he walked as calmly and as slowly as his excitement would allow back to the drink shop and bought himself a pint glass of beer. He made his way to a table and sat down, surprised to feel his heart thumping madly in his chest. For a moment he felt quite dizzy. Just as well I'm sitting down, he thought. Then he took a look at the bridge and found, to his annoyance, that he couldn't see his bag. There was a banner advertising some forthcoming event tied to the outside of the railings. There was no one on the footbridge now, and this pleased him. He had not wanted to hurt anyone, if at all possible. He checked his watch and saw that there was only 45 seconds to go. He watched the second hand sliding down towards the mark. 30 seconds. 25. "Excuse me, mister," said a small voice behind him. He turned and saw one of the young English Cub Scouts standing there. In his hand he held Hoskins' travel bag. "You left this on the bridge," said the boy, and without waiting for a reply dropped the bag at his feet and sprinted off to join his troop. Hoskins could only stare in mute shock and horror at the bag, and as he did, the alarm began to buzz, and Hoskins' world erupted in a sheet of flame.